Good morning, fifth grade. Today we are going to be learning about three-dimensional figures. This is chapter 11.4, so our fourth lesson in this chapter. So an important thing to refer back to during this chapter is going to be this chart that you see here. You're going to be using all of these different shapes today, okay? Because a three-dimensional figure often has polygons. So we have two types of three-dimensional figures. The first type we have is a polyhedron. A polyhedron can either be a pyramid or a prism. A pyramid has one base and then everything working up to the top, whereas a prism has two bases, looking like a sandwich with sides around it. Okay, we also have not polyhedrons. When it's not a polyhedron, it does not have any polygons within it. Okay, so this first slide that I'm showing you here, these are all prisms. So I'll write that at the bottom here. These are all prisms. Now I'm going to explain to you why, okay? So the reason that these are prisms is because it has a top and a bottom, almost like a sandwich we see here. So we have a top square and we have a bottom square, okay? That means that our solid figure is a rectangular prism because there's four sides and we see here that it is shaped as a rectangle, okay? This next one is also a prism, because we have a top and we have a bottom base. Okay, those are the top and the bottom bases. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, which is also known as a pentagon. So this is a pentagonal prism. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides on top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides on the bottom. This is known as a hexagonal prism because there is a top and a bottom. Prisms have tops and bottoms, almost like a sandwich. And our last one, fifth grade, we have 8 sides on the top, we have 8 sides on the bottom. Top and bottom again, like a sandwich, octagonal prism is what that is going to be called. So what you may be wondering, Miss Starley, what are the sides called? The sides in this case, fifth grade, are called the lateral sides, okay? Think of like a ladder going up from the bottom to the top. The sides of a prism are called the lateral sides, okay? We don't have to do a ton with the lateral sides today, however, so don't even really worry about those, okay? All right, our next slide here, these are known as pyramids. And these are known as polyhedrons because a polyhedron has polygons within the figure, okay? So the reason that these are called pyramids is because they don't have a top and a bottom like a sandwich. They just have a bottom, okay? So you'll notice here that we just have a triangle here. So this is known as a triangle. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides here. This is known as a rectangular pyramid because the bottom shape is a rectangle, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can't remember, go back to that chart. 5 is known as a pentagon. So this is called a pentagonal pyramid because there's a 5-side shape on the bottom of the pyramid, okay? The name always comes from the shape that's on the bottom of the pyramid as it works up, okay? All right. This next, it's important to note that this is not a polyhedron, okay, fifth grade, because these do not have polygons within them, okay? This is a cone shape. It has a base of a circle, so the outside is also going to be a circle, okay? This one has two bases, okay, and the outside is again going to be that circle. This is called a cylinder. And the last not polyhedron we have that is also a three-dimensional figure is the sphere, okay? You all know what a sphere looks like. It looks like a little ball, okay? So those are not polyhedrons. Prisms are polyhedrons. Pyramids are polyhedrons. These figures, not polyhedrons. So I have a little bit of a test for you here, okay? So I want you to decide what you think that these are, okay? So we have 3 options. Looking at this first one here, we have an interesting top and a bottom. Okay, so if we look at the sides, we have a sandwich looking thing, but it's just tipped over. Okay, so if it was tipped this way, it would have a sandwich on it. Okay, so do you think that this is a prism, a pyramid, or a not polyhedron? Okay, if you answered prism, you are correct, okay, because we have a side and a side, and that's sandwiching the rest of those lateral sides in. Okay, next one, we have a base and it's all going up to a point. Is this a prism, a pyramid, or a not polyhedron? If you answered pyramid, you're right. Okay, and you all know what this last shape is. It is a sphere. All right, moving on to our next question. Okay, some of the questions that you get today are going to have just words, and you have to really read them carefully because they're trying to get you to define these different polyhedrons. Okay, so it says the base shape of, what is another name for a cube? Okay, so think of a cube, I'm thinking of a Rubik's Cube in my head. It says complete the explanation. The base shape of the lateral faces, which are, remember, the sides, okay, not the sandwich, but the sides. The base shape and the lateral faces of the cube are squares. The faces of the squares are also, the faces of the cube are also known as rectangles. So another name for this cube is rectangular. We have two sandwich sides, prism. Okay, because we have those two sandwiches. Anytime you have lateral faces, fifth grade, you know that's a cube. You're going to have two sandwiches on the top and the bottom, sandwiching those, and that's a prism. Okay. Next question. It says classify the solid figure. Is this a prism, pyramid, cone, cylinder, or sphere? Okay. We have that top sandwich. We have that bottom sandwich. What is this going to be? If you answered prism, you are correct. Okay, this is a prism. Going on to the next figure that we have here. Don't get confused. This one is just tipped over. Okay, what is this figure called? Let's count the sides together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a sandwich. With those lateral faces, we have a sandwich. So I know it's a prism because it's a sandwich. 6 sides. Going back to my chart here, I know 6 sides is a hexagon. So the name for this figure is hexagonal prism. Okay, because it has 6 sides. So fifth grade, today when you're working, you're probably going to have to refer back to that chart if you can't remember what a polygon is with the amount of sides. Okay, so always remember when you're working with a polyhedron, it has a polygon within it. Okay, but there are 3-dimensional figures that are not polyhedrons, as I talked about. Okay, I hope that this gave you a little introduction into what you're going to see today. Please let me know if you have any questions before getting started on your work, because we are taking grades for both the interactive edition and the personal math trainer. Have a great Monday, and I miss you all.